Welcome back. More people were sentenced today in a scam that cost utility companies more than $40 million. Two of the ringleaders were handed jail terms, while 6 others were ordered to perform community service. Rachel Leung reports.
2 masterminds of the gang were taken away to begin their prison sentences at the end of the hearing. They were found guilty of conspiracy to defraud. One of them, a takeaway delivery man, was in charge of tampering with the electric and gas meters. In sentencing, District Court Judge Anthony Kwok took into account that the defendant had provided important information to police to enable the successful prosecution of his accomplices. He was given 21 months in jail. A second defendant, who worked as a salesman for a rice company, was the middleman who persuaded restaurants to commit the crime. He was given 18 months behind bars. 6 restaurant owners were sentenced to perform between 180 and 240 hours of community service. One of the restaurateurs, though, was injured in a traffic accident and is unable to do community service. He was handed a 6-month jail term, suspended for 2 years. Town Gas received an anonymous letter in January last year which claimed some restaurants were tampering with their meters. A police investigation found the restaurants had defrauded utility companies out of more than $40 million in payment. More than 100 people were arrested, 25 of whom faced prosecution. 3 other defendants in the case were sentenced in October to between 8 and 23 months in jail. More will face trial later. Rachel Leung, TVB News.
Billions of dollars spent on improving the quality of water that Hong Kong imports from the mainland is bearing fruit. The Advisory Committee on Water Resources and Quality of Water Supplies says despite the rapid industrialization seen across the border, the quality of water Hong Kong is receiving is improving. Joao da Silva reports.
70 to 80% of Hong Kong's raw water supply comes from the East River or Dongjiang. Despite signs of contamination in the 1990s due to the rapid urban and industrial development along the river, that trend has been reversed and the quality of this water has been improving. Since 2003, Dongjiang water is channeled directly to Shenzhen via a $4.9 billion aqueduct and a network of pumping stations and related structures to avoid contamination. That, along with a number of pollution control efforts undertaken by mainland authorities, has resulted in the continuous improvement of the water that runs from our taps here. That's the conclusion of the Advisory Committee on Water Resources and Quality of Water Supplies, which just came back from an inspection visit to the Dongjiang water supply system.
What we have drawn from the Dongjiang River is through special via aqueduct, a special aqueduct here that transfer the water directly from the Dongjiang River to Shenzhen Reservoir. So we didn't see any chances that this industrial and urban development will affect the quality of the Dongjiang River. This is one question here.
Hong Kong uses on average 2.6 million cubic meters of water every day. And despite an effective quality control system across the border, this water still has to go through a network of water treatment facilities here. Signed in 2006, the Dongjiang water supply agreements are up for renegotiation next year. The committee said it was too early to say what impact this process will have on water prices in Hong Kong, but the government has said that inflation and currency exchange rates will determine any price adjustments. Joao da Silva, TVB News.
An expanded stem cell transplant center at Queen Mary Hospital was unveiled today. As Jenny Lam reports, the hospital believes its upgraded facility will cut waiting time and provide better treatment for patients.
The new, bigger and better hemopoietic stem cell transplant centre at Queen Mary Hospital now has 18 wards instead of the previous 10. The hospital expects it to be able to handle up to 140 cases a year. That's 30 more than in the past. Before the expansion, when services were at their full capacity, the average waiting time for a transplant was between 3 and 6 months. In 2010, at least 20% of patients were unable to get timely treatment even though they found suitable donors, and they deteriorated or died as a result.
咁咪做唔到咯。
Professor Kwong Yuk Lam, head of the Division of Hematology and Medical Oncology at Queen Mary, said patients were left with the donors but no hospital beds. The hospital will now step up staff training for bone marrow transplant. Next year, it will also bring in new technology. Transplants used to be possible only if the donor matched 5 sets of genes in the recipient. Even siblings sometimes were unable to help each other. But the new technology will mean only half the number of genes have to be matched. That means there is a good chance of a match if parents are willing donors. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
Hong Kong's biggest ever dinosaur display is now at the Science Museum in Tsim Sha Tsui. It includes a number of big beasts found only in China. Stephanie Choi reports.
The Dasha Titan Binglingi is one of the biggest dinosaurs ever found in Asia. You can get up close to this 30-meter giant at the Hong Kong Science Museum beginning tomorrow. If that's not big enough, how about the world's largest dino, Rheangosaurus giganteus? But only part of that fossil is here. It was unearthed in Henan province in 2007. The exhibit is split into 4 areas, including a fossil display, a fossil digging zone, plus more than 160 items, such as dinosaur eggs. Get up close and personal with this robotic Tyrannosaurus, which seems to be able to interact with you. But here, let me show you a secret. The robot's movements are actually controlled here, and you can also make it snort, growl, or roar. There is also an interactive station and this multimedia theater that gives you a glimpse of what life was like 200 million years ago.
Even dinosaurs, they cannot still escape from the fate of extinction. So for people, if we want to live together with the nature, then we should think seriously how we should treat the nature and how to protect our environment.
To really get into their environment, you can even spend the night sleeping under the shadows of the massive exhibits. The Legends of the Giant Dinosaurs exhibition is open to public between now and September next year at the Hong Kong Science Museum. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
From big dinosaurs to big news in sports.
I'm not really a dinosaur guy, but that was good, and I could get into it. Big win for Arsenal in the Champions League overnight, having narrowly lost to Borussia Dortmund at home. The Gunners were out for revenge when they traveled to Germany. Tony Sabine reports.
Arsenal took a big step towards the last 16 of the Champions League after beating last season's finalist Borussia Dortmund away in Germany. Aaron Ramsey's 62nd minute header was enough to secure all 3 points for the Gunners.
But overall, it is a huge win here. So you look at the results we've made at home in the Champions League, you could see that not many teams have achieved that, and that overall you would say that the whole team has shown a huge solidarity to get through the difficult moments of the game.
Another London team also look on course for the knockout stage. Chelsea survived some tough early moments against Schalke FC to grind out a 3-0 win at Stamford Bridge.
They start a bit nervous. They made a lot of mistakes. We lost a couple of balls in dangerous positions, and we allowed them to counterattack with some danger. They had 2 good situations. After that, our team recovered the balance, and we control the game.
Meanwhile, Barcelona continued their usual winning ways with an impressive victory over AC Milan at the Nou Camp. 2 goals from Lionel Messi helped steer Barca to a 3-1 win. Tony Sabine, TVB News.
Tennis now. Thomas Berdych saw off the challenge of David Ferrer to stay in contention at the ATP World Tour Finals. Ferrer had beaten the Czech player a week before in Paris, but it was not to be in the British capital. Berdych sealed victory with an ace, completing a 6-4, 6-4 win over the Spaniard. It improves his chances of making it out of Group A and into the knockout rounds. On the ice, the Anaheim Ducks notched up another win, this time against the Phoenix Coyotes, to extend their lead, that is, in the NHL. Hampus Lindholm scored his first NHL goal, and Corey Perry got the tie-breaking goal late in the second. Final score 5-2 to the Ducks, their 6th win in 7 games, and Anaheim leads the NHL with 27 points.
It's official. Astronauts aboard the Russian Soyuz spacecraft are carrying the Olympic torch into space. Their rocket successfully blasted off today from Earth ahead of the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympic Games. For safety reasons, the torch will not burn when it's on board the International Space Station. Lighting it would consume precious oxygen and pose a threat to the crew. So astronauts plan to carry the unlit torch around the station's numerous modules before taking it out on a spacewalk. The torch will remain in space for 5 full days. The 4-month Sochi torch relay, which started in Moscow on October 7th, is the longest in the history of the Olympics. And that's our news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good evening. The weather was mainly fine today. And as tonight's situation chart shows, the northeast monsoon is affecting southern China. Today's temperatures ranged from 23 to 26.7 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 65 to 90%. Winds were moderate east to northeasterlies. The current temperature is now 24.1 degrees Celsius, with the relative humidity standing at 77%. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh. Ah.
It will be mainly fine tonight. Temperatures will range between 23 and 27 degrees. It will be mainly fine on Saturday. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 45 to 95, and the pollution level will range from medium to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 6. And here's the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai and Xiamen, showers in Taipei. Sunny in Guangzhou and Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Cloudy in Beijing, sunny in Seoul and Tokyo. Thunderstorms in Bangkok, rain in Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, showers in Jakarta. Showers in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi, bright in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo. Sunny in Brisbane, thunderstorms in Sydney and Auckland. Cloudy in Toronto. Rain in Vancouver, sunny in Los Angeles. Cloudy in London, rain in Amsterdam, showers in Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.